Hey guys, what's going on? Aaron here. So I want to make sure you know that I'm not going to leave even though things are kind of crazy right now. A lot of you guys know I've been in the space for a while, and you can see here I bought my first piece of Bitcoin back in April of 2013. And, I made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of what I want to share is just what I wish I would have done differently. So, for example, you can see I sold Bitcoin, in 2013 because prices were dropping and I was terrified. Sold Bitcoin for 165. So I can show a lot more. I can show my ETH buys and sells as well. At the end of the day, what I'm seeing right now really, really reminds me of how I used to feel when prices dropped. And it doesn't go away. That initial kind of like, oh my gosh, what should I do? Should I sell because I'm going to buy back later? All that stuff still goes through my head. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but I'm just a lot more calm than I used to be because I think to myself, what has fundamentally changed, if anything, right? What's actually changed here? I took some notes. I just want to go over this because I don't want to miss anything. So, between now and, I don't know, end of September, when everyone was like, Bitcoin's going to $150,000, $200,000 by the end of the year, what's actually changed? Okay, we're seeing first, more uncertainty about a rate cut for the end of the year. So that's putting pressure on equities as well. But ultimately, nothing's changed. Institutions are just getting going, right? BlackRock, Fidelity, JP Morgan. I talk about this all the time here. Pro crypto admin, the Clarity Act is going to get passed soon. ETFs, have only been around for not that long, about 2 years. Digital asset treasuries, more and more are coming on board, and those are getting bigger and bigger. Corporate treasuries coming in as well. And the whole tokenization, right? We're seeing BlackRock really get on board with that as well. For macro, $2,000 stimmy checks are most likely coming to a large majority of the US population. At least they're tossing that idea around. Japan, a $110 billion stimulus package is coming. China, a $1.4 trillion stimulus package is coming. The Fed is officially ending quantitative tightening on December 1st. The US is running around $2 trillion of deficits, forcing a massive amount of treasury issuance, also good. Canada is essentially restarting its QE program. Global M2 is climbing and at record highs. So, what's changed? Well, not much other than just the entire market, right? This is a broad market sell-off. We're seeing the S&P down another percent today. The NASDAQ down 0.84%. A lot of tech stocks are getting absolutely crushed, and that is really, really affecting Bitcoin because unfortunately, Bitcoin is still kind of seen as a tech stock. NVIDIA was 211 not too long ago, a few weeks ago actually, and now it's down around 13%. Taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down obviously more than 13% from the all-time high. Bitcoin currently down around 27%. I recognize altcoins are getting hit a lot harder. They always do, right? When Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down harder and faster. But when the markets are favorable, often altcoins can outperform. You guys know this. I don't need to tell this to you guys. You guys are well aware. So, we're seeing a broad market sell-off. We're seeing the VIX, the volatility index, go up quite a bit. Obviously, back during April of this year, it was very, very high, but we're seeing it creep back up to pretty darn high levels, right? And all of this, again, is just putting a lot of pressure on Bitcoin. So leave a comment below if you think any of these fundamentals have changed. We're seeing a lot of really, really solid things happen right now. And again, I've been around a while. I've seen multiple 70, 80% drops and dips. And you can see here, I panic sold when things were dipping 12 years ago. And that is something that I wish I didn't do. And I wish I understood, what I actually held. And this is ETH, right? I bought 15 ETH at a price of around $12.89 per ETH. And you can see here, I panic sold them for even less. I sold them for $8, right? Really, really dumb. I had no idea what I was doing back then. And honestly, I wish I had a community of people like what we got at the crypto strategy school. Now, I understand prices are low. If you don't have the money for something like this, that's fine. But this is a community, myself and other top creators, a lot of coaches. We got Sunday live streams, trainings, everything you need to know to get going and learn a lot more about crypto. A really, really active Discord community. And again, it is something very, very cool. I am very, very happy to be a contributor of and a part of. You can check this out below. But I wish I had something like this, some sort of educational platform, but I didn't, right? I didn't have that. Taking a look right here, you can see my short that I put on in the last video, up around 16%. Now, I'm definitely not recommending anybody play or touch leverage at all. People in the comments were like, how dare you promote it? I'm not promoting it. I did this for fun. It is something that if you are an experienced trader, there are ways of potentially profiting as prices go down. A lot of people don't understand that and they don't know how to do that. That is something we do go over in the crypto strategy school. But again, not recommending it, guys. I will say though, that I was buying on Coinbase yesterday and the fees were insanely high on Coinbase. Even on Coinbase advanced trading, they were just really, really high. I went over here to BTCC and the fees were a lot lower. The fees were a lot lower here. It's just a lot better if you're doing a lot of buying and selling, or if you're doing large purchases. I've just found it to be cheaper here. And they are offering this if you do want to check it out. All right, so taking a look at a couple charts really quick. This is the fear and greed index. So I want to go for the lowest or the highest amount of fear, right? Extreme fear. We can see here that there hasn't really been many places where the fear has been this high. A couple times mid 2022 when the price of Bitcoin was around $20,000 or so. So if you were to buy at these places, granted we did hit it here when the price was 30, it did drop another 50%, but then you can see if you still bought at 30,000, you can see it went up around 4x to the all-time high. Taking a look at the 10 to 20, so the next level up for fear, we are there right now. So we are at that level for fear right now. And you can see most times we have hit this level, the price of Bitcoin goes up after that. But there is a chance, if I go back right here, 10 to 20, there is a chance we are again back in 2022 where we hit that, say at $50,000, and then we continue to go down to 16. Now that would suck. But even if you bought at $53,000 when it hit this level of fear, it still did over a 2x from where the price is now. So yeah, there's a chance, right, that things could still go down even though we are at the same level of fear. But if you just zoom out and look at it from a larger time frame, it still really doesn't matter. And taking a look at this from Scott Bessent, what he has to say about the economy.
How long will that take?
I think we are going to see a substantial acceleration in the economy in the second quarter. And I think we are also, we're already seeing on many prices, as I said, we're bending that curve down, and the increase in real incomes, I think Americans are going to feel it in the first quarter, second quarter. I think 2026, thanks to President Trump's signature plans, is going to be a great year for working Americans, for the markets. I call it parallel prosperity.
All right, so he's saying, again, who knows? He's saying 2026 will still be a good year for the markets. Right here, Jack Mallers, CEO of Strike, he said, gold making new highs tells you the fiat system is broken and governments have to print more money. Bitcoin selling off tells you the system will crack before they're forced to. Remember, Bitcoin is the only free market we have left. A liquidity smoke alarm revealing truths the system tries to hide. And that leads me right here to James Lavish. He says, okay, to be honest, do you really believe that the government is going to curb spending, the Fed is going to stop printing, and asset prices are going to stop rising forever, right? He's basically saying that whatever's happening short term, it does not take away from the fact that the Fed is going to never stop printing. The government is going to never stop increasing their spending, and asset prices, therefore, are never going to stop rising. They're always going to be rising. And I'm going to summarize how I'm feeling about this in just a moment. First, though, taking a look at my Roth IRA over at iTrust Capital. If you're unaware of iTrust and basically what they do, they have two different accounts, and I've been using them for many, many, many years. You can create a Roth IRA or a normal IRA. You can roll over one as well that you have sitting somewhere else. And obviously with an IRA, you can sell tax-free, right? So that's the benefit of that. And they allow you to buy a lot of different assets. So a lot of different altcoins if you want, right? If you're a bull on these altcoins, right now, you can buy these coins inside of your retirement account. And I understand that you can buy, say, a Bitcoin ETF inside of Fidelity, Schwab, whatever. The downside is that you can only trade those during, obviously, market hours, and you don't get access to a lot of other coins if you want to buy those coins. And they also have what's called a premium custody account. Now, I love hardware wallets. I love self-custody. You guys know that. But I also really like the option of using institutional grade storage to store your coins. So for example, they're using Fidelity Digital Assets, Wells Fargo, Coinbase Prime, Fireblocks, and there's no rehypothecation. They're not lending out your crypto. How it works is you can send crypto or fiat in, but you can only withdraw fiat out to your bank account. So hypothetically, if a hacker got into your account, they can't withdraw your Bitcoin like they could with Coinbase, for example. So if you're not quite sure you want to self-custody everything, but you also don't want to necessarily trust Coinbase and you want to have US-based support. So basically you can get on the phone and call their support. It's based in the US. That's not the case with Coinbase. You can check out iTrust Capital and check out their custody accounts. I will leave the link to that below, and you can also grab a funding bonus if you decide to check it out. All right, guys. So as the sun's going down, let me just sum up how I'm feeling here. So ultimately, again, nothing has changed, and we're seeing a broad sell-off for everything. AI, tech stocks, even the general US stock market is going down. But there are so many things that are going really, really well. And again, nothing has really changed, or actually nothing has changed with Bitcoin, with mass adoption, with what's going on with nation states and treasury companies and institutions, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Chase, right? None of these things have changed where they were 2 months ago when everyone was really, really excited and happy. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I never tell you what to do or never have told you what to do with your money. If you want to sell, sell, right? If you want to just wait and do nothing because you realize that eventually things will come back and will hit a new all-time high, then great. You know, that's what I'm doing. If you have more dry powder and you want to buy more, then this could be a time to do so as well. Could things go lower short term? Totally. Crypto, Bitcoin, the markets, they always create the most pain for the most people. And we are seeing this. It is incredibly bearish. In the comments on this video, it's going to be most people being like, you know, I'm out. I'm never touching crypto again. It's a scam. I'm expecting that, right? That's what always happens. Again, I've been here for 12 and a half years. I've seen a lot. And this is a very, very, very familiar feeling. Bitcoin dropping 20 to 30% is very, very normal. Even if this is the beginning of the bear market, I don't see us dropping 70 to 80% like we usually do. Because for one, we have massive companies and institutions that are buying all the time. And we did not have this massive blow off top. We didn't see this insane euphoria phase. So that's just my prediction. We could go down a little lower. I mean, for months, I've been saying we can go down to 95, 90, right? And we are hitting that 90,000 mark. So, I mean, could we go down to 80? Yeah, it would suck, but I mean, whatever, you know, the markets are doing what the markets are doing. And finally, just want to say, remember, if you're in the United States and if you are taking profits, remember that there are such things called taxes, right? 15% or so long-term capital gains, most likely. So, you know, you bought a coin at 20, you sold at 100, that's $80,000 of profit. 15% of that, I don't know, what is that, $11,000, $12,000 that you just have to like give to the IRS. So just be aware of that too. There are reasons not to sell because depending on the price you bought your coins, that could really eat into your profits because you got to pay the piper, right? Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. I will not be leaving this market no matter what happens. I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.